Very good morning to all. Myself, Dr. R.C. Chauhan, Associate Professor, SPC Government College, Ajmer. Today we will be discuss the MSc Physics semester 2nd, 5th paper, that is Classical Electrodynamics, Unit 1st, and that is the anomalous dispersion. We will continue that one. What means of the anomalous distribution we have discussed earlier, and on which factors this depends. Today we will be continuing that one, and then finally we will discuss about the absorptions, resonant absorptions, how it is possible, and what is responsible for the conductors. The real and imaginary part, as earlier we have discussed, calculated, of the refractive index are given as n real equal to 1 plus n e square by the twice epsilon naught m multiplied by the omega 0 square minus omega square divided by omega 0 square minus omega square k square plus gamma square omega square. This was the real part. And imaginary part, as we have calculated, n imaginary equal to the n e square by the twice epsilon naught m gamma omega divided by omega 0 square minus omega square whole square plus gamma square plus omega square. Last turn we have plot these two values, n real and the n imaginary, and both will be values will be the vary with the n equal to the 1 for the n real, as earlier we have not this one. For the omega is less than, this is nearly equal to the n equal to 1, but as the omega is increases, it will be increases up get at the sharp value, and then it is decreases at omega equal to omega 0, and then it will get the negative value. This is for the n real. And for imaginary, again this is the n equal to 1 for omega equal to less than 0, that is sorry nearly equal to the 0, and it will be gives the peaks at the omega equal to omega 0 and the some multiples of it. So what are the conclusions we can observe? That first is that at low frequency n real is the slightly greater than 1, and its increases as omega is increases, and it reaches at the maximum value at the omega 1 omega 0 minus gamma by 2, and that decreases till omega 2 equal to the omega 0 plus gamma by 2, and omega equal to the omega 0 and equal to the 1. Normal dispersion is associated with the increase in the real epsilon omega, that is the n omega, and anomalous dispersion r omega or the n omega real decreases with the increase of the omega, and this is called the anomalous dispersion. At omega equal to omega 0 we get the resonance. As earlier in the general view we will get the resonance condition of the resonance frequency omega equal to omega 0. The positive energy is the dispersion, that is the positive real part of the omega. This is so that the power dispersion from the wave to medium, means the power is absorbed by the medium from the wave. If this n is positive, the region where the imaginary epsilon omega is the large is called resonant absorptions, and the imaginary part is corresponding to the absorption of the electromagnetic wave propagating through the medium. At its maximum at omega equal to omega 0, means that the imaginary part represent the resonant absorptions, and it will be give the maximum at the omega equal to omega 0. The attenuation of the plane wave is expressed in terms of the wave number, that is the complex, that is k equal to the beta plus iota alpha by 2, where alpha is called the attenuation coefficient and or the absorption coefficient, and the beta is the phase constant. The intensity is decreases as the e raised to power minus alpha t, or we can see that is the exponentially decreases, and the velocity is the given of the medium is in the medium is the b equal to the omega by k equal to the c by n. C is the velocity of the wave in the light. So the k equal to omega n by c, and on squaring this one we can obtain k square equal to omega square n square by the c square equal to beta square minus alpha square plus by 4 plus iota beta gamma, and this can be written as the real part and the imaginary part. So we can separate the real part and imaginary part. B square minus alpha square by 4 equal to the omega square c square, real part of the epsilon by the epsilon naught. and the beta alpha equal to the omega square c square imaginary part of the epsilon by the epsilon naught. So what is the special case of it? If alpha is very less than the beta, observations is the strong. If the alpha can be calculated in the form of beta and then by dividing the above equations, we can obtain the beta square minus alpha square by 4 divided by beta alpha equal to the real epsilon by the epsilon naught divided by imaginary alpha by epsilon by the epsilon naught. And if we have calculated that the alpha is very small than the beta, so that's the beta square by the beta alpha equal to the real part of the epsilon by the epsilon naught divided by imaginary part of the epsilon by epsilon naught. So using this one, we can write alpha equal to imaginary epsilon by the epsilon naught beta divided by real part of the epsilon by epsilon naught, and this gives the relation between these two, where beta equal to, we can write using the real part and the first equations, beta equal to omega c or root of the real part of the epsilon by epsilon naught. So the next conclusions, that is the low frequency behavior, that is the electrical conductivity for the conductors, means this is suitable only for the low frequency behavior. For the region omega is less than 1 or it is 10 to 0, if some fraction f0 of the electrons per molecules are the free, means out of the total available electrons, some part of this are the free, and that is the f0, and they are responsible for the electrical conductivity. In the conductors, in the sense of the having omega 0 equal to 0, the dielectric constant is the singular at the omega equal to 0. So the epsilon by the epsilon naught, earlier we have write 1 plus n square by the epsilon naught m multiplied by the sigma I by omega I square minus omega square minus iota omega gamma I power minus 1. It converted into the epsilon omega equal to the epsilon b omega plus the iota n square f0 m omega gamma 0 minus iota omega. What we have calculated? We have calculated omega is nearly equal to omega I. Omega b epsilon b omega is the contribution due to the other bound electrons, because we have write the free plus bound. So this the last term, that is the imaginary part, is responsible for the free electrons, and the omega epsilon b omega is contribution for the bound electrons, that is in form of the dipoles present in this one. And we can assume an image that some electrons are free and the other are remainings are the bound with the lattice. So this is responsible for the bound electrons that forms the dipoles. So that is the epsilon b omega, that is the permeability of these electrons. For such cases, the Maxwell fourth equation, that is called Maxwell Ampere's law, del cross H equal to J plus del D by del T. Here the J is current density, D is the displacement vector. So the J equal to the sigma E, sigma is the conductivity. So substituting the value of this one, we can write del cross H equal to the sigma E minus the epsilon B minus iota omega multiplied by the E. So this gives minus iota omega multiplied by the EB plus iota sigma by the omega multiplied by the E. So for such type of the conductor, comparing two equations, we can write conductivity equal to the f0 n square divided by the m gamma 0 minus iota omega. So again we can conclude for the conductors, the conductivity depends on the f0 n, the number of electrons per volume in the medium. N is the total number of electrons per volume, and the f0 is the friction of the free electrons that is available of all electrons. So the low frequency for the medium, the conductor, above formula is valid in the real. It is a quantum mechanical model where the Pauli exclusion principle play an important role. The free electrons are of the isolated atoms that becomes the quasi-free. Again, we can assume a picture that some electrons are the completely free and some are the isolated atoms, they are the quasi-free, means that is the sometimes they are free and they are mostly connected with this one. If the some force is increases, then that can be free. So the damping effect of the electron lattice comes from the collisions involving the applicable transfer between the electrons and the lattice. So due to the collision of the electrons, because when the electrons get the energy and they get the collides with the lattice, and the some electrons are with the free, and due to this one some these are the free electrons. So at least any away from the omega equal 0, if the medium passes the free electrons, it is the conductors and at the low frequency. So we can conclude that at the low frequency omega is tend to 0, the free electrons that are the or the free electrons will be responsible for the conductivity, and the some electrons which will be the free due to the collisions between the electrons, and that is also responsible for the electron, that is the Cauchy. And so we can say this is also depends on the frequency of the incident wave. So the conductivity of the medium will be also depends on the frequency of the incident wave. So this is all about the for the absorption, resonant absorptions for the conductors. Thank you very much for today. Thank you.